Hi everyone, I am Amit. I welcome you all to the From the Scratch podcast series. This specific episode, we are going to learn and clear our doubts related to digital marketing and social media because we have a guest. We have a special guest in this specific episode. He's an expert in all social media management and all these expertise, growth strategies. He's an influencer and he own his own agency. So guys, if you're listening this podcast on Spotify, Google or Apple, or if you're watching this on the YouTube, then let's not waste the time. Let's introduce to the man himself, straight away from Dallas, Texas, Ali Mirza. Hi, Ali.
Thank you so much, Amit, for the nice intro and for having me on your show, man. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Anytime, like I was like, I followed you. Like even I have a TikTok account, so I have first seen you over there. So your visibility, your brand visibility was like from through TikTok, and then I went towards your Instagram. I started following you, and there's where I got connected to you.
Yeah, it's and I'm sure we'll talk more about this, but one of the things that I do myself and I also preach to other people is consistency. Because if you want to build your personal brand or even like your business brand on any channel, TikTok, Instagram, you have to stay consistent. So that's like kind of like, my formula or my secret sauce. I just kind of pick something that's easy for me to do, and then I stay consistent with it. And we'll talk more like details about all that. But yeah, I think TikTok has been a really interesting platform for me. Just getting in front of a lot of interesting people. We connected on TikTok. A lot of other people are finding me on TikTok. So people who think TikTok is not good for business, they're so wrong. TikTok is not. So that's our kind of like lesson number one. TikTok is not just for pranks or dances or music. You can build your personal brand. You can build your business on that platform for sure.
So true. So I'm starting with the very first question. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So like right now, why a business need to have a digital presence?
So it's interesting if you look at, so forget about the business, right, for a second. When you talk, when you talk about a business, they're either selling a product or service, right? Who they're selling it to? They're selling it to consumers. Where are consumers right now? They're not reading newspaper. They're not listening to radio. They're not watching like TV. They are kind of connected on devices like these, right? So phones and like even like computers. And we're spending as users, we're spending a lot of our time in front of digital channels. So we want all the information, all the education, all the entertainment, all the dating, everything given to us on these devices on our couches. So if you want to build your business, if you want to grow your business, means you want to sell your product and service, then you have to go where people are, and people are on digital channels. So that's why I think it's very dangerous for businesses to ignore digital channels, social media channels these days, because that's where, as consumers, that's where we're going. So if you want to bring your business to us, if you want to sell your product and services to us, then meet us on these digital channels. So that's why.
So to right answer and lovely in detail. So like the next question comes is like, how do you see Facebook as a platform now? And does Facebook still have the growth?
Yes. So great question. I think Facebook is kind of like the oldest platform. TikTok is like the new shiny object, right? I do think Facebook has a lot of room. It has matured definitely. So we as a users, we're not seeing the same type of like growth curve, right? So how TikTok is growing in crazy numbers and interesting news is coming out, but Facebook has kind of like established itself. But Facebook has the most data on us. Facebook's ad platform is the most sophisticated ads platform. Facebook ads are probably the most inexpensive ads right now. So when you compare it like Google ads or YouTube ads, Facebook ads are like much, or LinkedIn ads, they're much cheaper. So I think really, I can't think of any business. It's funny, I think before we started our call, I told you I was on a call with a client. The client is actually a carpet cleaning company. So imagine a carpet cleaning company here in Dallas, Texas. We're running Facebook ads for them and we're generating leads for that business. So if you think of like carpet cleaning, you think, hey, that business may not have anything to do on like Facebook or Facebook ads, but we're able, with the right strategies, we're able to, bring leads to them. So in my opinion, do not, it's okay to look at, shiny things as TikTok and Instagram and even like, Snapchat to some extent, because that's where the attention is. But don't ignore the giant. Don't ignore the platform that has the most data. Don't ignore the platform that has the most sophisticated ads. TikTok ads they do have ads platform, but it's not like a, self-service ad like Facebook. So I would say, yes, absolutely. Facebook has room for growth. They're, mature. They have the data. They have the numbers, especially if you want to grow your business. The first place I would actually look at, the starting point will be Facebook.
Wow, crazy insights. And I have few points, like how I see as Facebook as a platform. All you have described. I see Facebook as a grandfather of all the social media, and like because he has the data, and where the people have the data, they are the ruling. As you have,
Yeah, and one thing I'll mention, the reason Facebook is not easy platform now, because Facebook has matured, so organic reach has gone down, right?
Yeah.
So when I post a video on TikTok, my video gets 2,000, 10,000, 20,000 views sometime. When I post on Facebook, I get like 15 views. I get like 50 views, 100 views, right? So based on that, a lot of people think that Facebook doesn't work or Facebook is not growing, but they have to realize Facebook is in a different sort of like a place right now. The organic reach on Facebook back in 2011, 2010, 2012 was really high. So people who missed Facebook in those days, now they're kind of like, finding success on TikTok. So don't compare the platform just based on the organic reach, because then you're going to find TikTok as the best platform based on the organic reach, which is true. But do think about, if you want to grow your business, that means you want to put your offers, your products and services in front of the right people at the right time. And that's what Facebook allows you to do.
Wow. So shooting the next question related to LinkedIn. How do you see LinkedIn? Like, because LinkedIn, most of the people, they have the perspective towards LinkedIn. It's like professional IT kind of platform where only professionals be there. But from past few years or few months, which I could say, like LinkedIn is trying to change and kind of do some different things. Please, can you give few insights to the viewers or listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. And LinkedIn is definitely like B2B, because most of the audience, if you think about the audience on LinkedIn platform, they are people who are like business professionals, people who are looking for a job. But LinkedIn has done a really interesting shift, and they did this shift, I believe, back in, this is 2020, so like 2018. So LinkedIn used to be like a resume platform. So you would go to LinkedIn when you need a new job, when you're, let's say, graduating from college and you're looking for like a next opportunity or your first opportunity. But now LinkedIn is coming, in my words, sort of like Facebook. So LinkedIn is becoming a content platform. So in old days, you would go to LinkedIn, upload your resume, and try to find a new job. Now you go to LinkedIn, you create content, and use that content to build your brand, your personal brand or your business brand, and you attract your leads and customers. The way I'm looking at, LinkedIn is there are three platforms that are sort of like on the top of my list right now. And if you ask me this question, 6 months from now, the platforms may be different, but I'm paying a lot of attention to YouTube, to LinkedIn, and then to TikTok. Those are the three on the top of my list. And the reason LinkedIn also, it just became the content platform, the organic reach is really, really high. So if you are in a place where you do business with other businesses, which is me, right? Because I have a marketing agency, and probably you work with other like marketing professionals or business professionals. If you work with other business professionals, you absolutely should be on LinkedIn. But the shift we have to make in our mind is LinkedIn is kind of like Facebook, meaning we go to that platform and we have to create content. It's not just a passive platform where you go on that platform whenever you need like next opportunity. You have to go to, I tell people the way to get results from LinkedIn is to actually use it like Facebook. And the way to get results from Facebook is actually using it like LinkedIn. And I'll tell you why. When I say use LinkedIn as Facebook, What I mean is the context is don't just kind of create your profile on LinkedIn, create content also, meaning put your articles, put your posts, put your videos on LinkedIn. So that's kind of like you using LinkedIn as a content platform like Facebook. And when I say use Facebook as a LinkedIn, what I mean is don't use Facebook as just a silly platform where I'm going to upload pictures of, me drinking coffee or with my cat or my dog or with my kids. In addition to that, also tell people who you really are. Because me as a business professional, I like podcasts, I like video interviews, I like, reading about marketing. I like, there certain like professional interests that I have. So start putting those on your Facebook profile. So this is what I kind of like mean by use Facebook as LinkedIn and use LinkedIn as Facebook to get like results. But, to coming back to your question, I think LinkedIn is really like evolving as a platform. The organic reach is really high. If you want to connect with the business owners, it's the best platform. And the other thing, I tell people, if someone asks me or you, we're our business owner, right? So business owners are on LinkedIn, but they're also on Facebook. They're also on like, maybe TikTok and also like on Instagram. But there's another question that you have to ask. That's where is my audience? And also, are they on that platform thinking about a problem as solved for them? So for example, business owner, yes, they are probably on Instagram, but when they're Instagram, are they thinking about hiring a social media consulting agency or hiring a Facebook ads manager? Probably not. When they are on LinkedIn, they are probably thinking about, growing their business, hiring more people, hiring like a new vendors, maybe, investing into, certain tools. So there are two questions that you have to kind of like, to grow your business. Who is your target audience, or where is your target audience at? And the second one is, what are they thinking on that platform? So, another example is when you think of, hey, if you have a product and you sell it to, let's say, moms, right? The single moms. So single moms are on Pinterest. And let's say you want to sell fashion products, right? Single moms are on Pinterest, single moms are on Facebook, single moms are on Instagram, probably on LinkedIn too. But on which platform they're thinking about things that will lead them towards like buying fashion products. When you answer that question, then you're going to lean towards, either Pinterest or like, like Instagram, right? So that's why I kind of like long answer to your question, but the reason LinkedIn is important, number one, it has a lot of business professional. And number two, when they are on LinkedIn, their psychology is very different from when they like, I'm a business owner. I do spend a lot of time on TikTok, but I'm very different when I'm on TikTok versus when I'm on LinkedIn. So that's why, LinkedIn for B2B, if you do anything with other business owners, you should be spending a lot of time on LinkedIn.
Nice. Very much needed this detailed answer, because like I have been searching for such answers in detail, and the strategies which you have told, the way which you look into it, the perspective, like seeing Facebook, treating LinkedIn as a Facebook and like such, that's a crazy thing. So one more thing, as you told, like business, like how can people generate leads through Facebook, LinkedIn?
To LinkedIn or Facebook?
LinkedIn.
It's kind of, yeah, it's going to be similar sort of like thing. The process I like to use is, I call it like ABC process: attract, build, and convert. So attract means you attract the right audience. Build is you build a relationship with them. And then C is you convert them into like leads and sales. The mistake, the biggest mistake people make is they skip A and B. They try to do the C. And, it's kind of like, if we don't, the example I give people is if we go on Facebook and we see an ad from like Starbucks, right? Or any like a popular coffee shop. Starbucks is really popular in Dallas and United States. So we're going to click on that ad and then we'll go enjoy that coffee. But if we see an ad from Ali's coffee shop, it may be better coffee. We may kind of like, save money, but we're never going to click because we don't have that relationship with Ali as a brand. We have relationship with Starbucks or Nike or Dell or other like big brands, but we don't have any relationship with like Ali's coffee shop. So to generate leads, that's a process I want people to follow: A, B, and C. Attract the right people. How do you attract the right people? Again, you optimize your profile, your account, and then you create really, really, really good content. So if you look at, you found me on TikTok. So the way I do create content on TikTok is very different from the way fashion people or food people kind of create content. My content is educational content, right? But based on my content and my consistency, I'm able to attract the right type of people to my account, right? So when I'm attracting them, I'm also building engagement with them. That's like step number 2. The build engagement phase. That's where they send me messages. I respond to their comments. Sometimes I take their comments and create like more content for them. And then also like educate them about different ways they can work with me, right? And then C comes into picture. That's where when people are like, hey, you seem like you're creating a lot of content about Facebook ads. Seems like you know a lot about Facebook ads. How can we work with you? And that's where I tell them, hey, I do have an agency, and this is how much I charge. This is how we work with you. So there's a process that's like involved. And yes, you can run Facebook ads. And yes, you can run like LinkedIn ads and other ads and try to like generate leads. But if you're trying to skip those, if you're not following the process, most likely your lead generation campaigns is going to either fail or the cost is going to be really high. When I talk to people and they say, hey, we try to do like lead generation with Facebook ads and it didn't work, 99% of the time it happens because they skipped the process. They didn't do A, B, and C. They just jumped to the C. So in my mind, the Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or other ads, those are just like tools. Tools help you get your results faster. But if you skip the process, it's kind of like, hey, I want to be a software engineer, but I don't want to go to school. I don't want to take any classes. I don't want to learn anything. I just want to be a software engineer for Apple. Sounds good, but it's also less likely to happen, right? So going back to your question, how do you generate leads? ABC, attract, build, and convert. So that's a process you need to establish.
Lovely example. So you need to build the content, put the value, gain trust, and then you can go for help. Got it.
Yep.
So looking at this crisis now, this coronavirus, the crisis, the pandemic. So due to this, specifically in India, most of the businesses, they are trending to come online. They think that coming online now, it's very safer because they think this is the right time, because in coming few years, it's all will be online. So what do you think businesses will be emerging online? And this is the right time. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the best time. The saying that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best is now, right?
Yeah.
So I think people should have been online already, before these crises. But let's say if someone is, didn't do it, now is the time to build your online channel, build your to people, to freelancers and consultants. My big message is build your personal brand. To businesses, yes, absolutely, whatever that means. To when you say come online, maybe you're a local business and you never sold anything online and you want to create a Shopify store, or maybe you want to just have your website improved and open a Facebook page or LinkedIn page, whatever that means. Absolutely, now is the time to do it. Because going back to what we discussed earlier, I think as humans, the trend already is, as humans, we're very lazy, right? We want everything given to us on these devices, right? We want to sit in front of our TV and have these devices and all the education, all the entertainment, all the like dating apps, everything like given to us on these devices. And we just want to sit back and consume, right? We don't even want to go out to get food. We want to order the food and have the food come to us, right? So I think based on those trends, this is absolutely the right time to bring your business online, create content. The other thing is, when you bring your business online, when everyone is coming online, right, on the internet, now how do you differentiate yourself? There's so many consultants, so many restaurants. How do you differentiate yourself? The way you differentiate yourself is by creating content. Because the way you found me is through my content on TikTok. The way I'll find other people is through their content on a certain channel. So that's the way when you come online, absolutely, kind of do your foundation, your website, your channels, but then go one step forward or one step ahead and start thinking about creating content, because that's how we're going to compete online. That's how a business who has good, valuable content is going to stand out from a business who does not.
Got it. Like, I forgot the next question. I just went drain into this. Like, was keep thinking.
Yeah. But I think this is really kind of the really good question, because digital marketing has evolved, definitely, right? It's not new, right? So But if you also, for people like you and I, we are in like digital marketing. For us, it seems like this is this saturation, this bubble. Every person is like digital marketing, kind of like specialist or expert or guru. But what's interesting, Amit, is when I talk to business owners, when I talk to like a restaurant owner or a furniture store owner or a carpet cleaning company owner, they have like no idea like what Facebook is. They still think that, and nothing, it's not their fault, right? Because they haven't been properly educated. They think that if you have a Facebook profile, that's all you need, and that it's going to bring you a lot of business. They don't realize there's a Facebook profile, there's Facebook pages, and when you have a Facebook page, you have to again create that ABC process. So I think the digital marketing, in my opinion, we're still like very, very early, very, very early, because majority of the people, yeah, we're like kind of millennials, and we kind of the late 20s or 30 years old. We understand technology and social media and stuff like that, and we feel like everyone knows. But people who are like business owners in like 40s and 50s, people who have the money to hire the marketing services, they still need education. And it's still like very, in my opinion, very early days to get serious about digital marketing, personal branding, creating content, TikTok, podcasting, videos. So absolutely, my message to people watching is go deep into it. If you haven't been doing it, start now. Like start right now.
Great. So like starting is very important. Just start, and this is just a start. People, they think that, as you told, this is just a, like, they think that, okay, like people have so many followers, like if I start today, will I be there and there where they are? So they think it's been late, but they don't know this is just still a start. And yeah,
Yep.
that's the thing. And because even I run a branding agency, so in this period, in this 2 months period, I've got so many queries, like kind of I've never been like every day back to back meetings. I've never like back in my from past 3 years, I've never seen such huge requirements, like the queries where people are coming up. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So coming to the next question, if someone want to build their own branding agency, if someone want to build an agency which you are running, like, or a digital marketing agency, so what are those basic yet very important fundamentals they need to keep in their mind throughout their journey?
Yeah. So great question. So most of if you're thinking about building an agency, right? So you're providing services to other business owners, right? So your target audience is business owners. You're providing like services to them, and making kind of like revenue. So you have to kind of like think about, where are those people, right? Like we kind of talked about this. So let's say LinkedIn. And then also think about, are they at that channel thinking about the things that I solve for them? So as a branding agency is helping kind of build your brand online, right? So why do you build your brand online? So you can differentiate. Why do you differentiate? So you can attract more leads. Why do you attract more leads? So you can kind of increase your profits, right, or revenue for the business. So think about like those basic things. And I'm a big fan of, Amit, like I've been saying this for a while, teaching is the new marketing. So instead of, once you identify where is your audience, your business owner, instead of trying to sell them, instead of like trying to market to them, try to teach them. Because what happens is, when you teach, it kind of kickstart that ABC process. Because when you teach, people trust you. When people trust you, they look at you as a resource. And when they look at you as a resource, a trusting resource, then they want to do like business with you. So anyone who wants to build agency, yeah, I think there's a lot of value into like cold outreach and cold calling and stuff like that. But what I would say, if you can, you're just starting out and you want to build some cash flow. So the way I kind of like did my agency, I attended like a lot of like networking events and exchanged business cards and sent emails and phone calls. That's how I got my first like 3 and 5 clients. But once I got like some revenue coming in, then I started building my own personal brand based on like teaching other people. So that's what I would kind of like, say, if you're just starting out wanting to build a branding agency, a marketing agency, invest into teaching other people. Teach people how you solve their problem. Teach people what your methodology is. Teach people what your tips are, what your hacks are. Educate them. And then what will happen is, when a lot of time people are like, hey, if we educate other people, they'll do it themselves and they'll never like come back and hire us, right?
So true.
But at the same time, what will happen is, some people will learn and do it. And those people are not your clients anyways. Because there's two groups of people, right? There's one group that's like, hey, I want to learn it and then I want to do it myself. And then there's another group that's like, hey, I am a business owner. I'm not a branding person or a Facebook ads person or a social media person. So my time is not well spent trying to learn these things. So let me go hire an expert. So that's a mistake I actually made in the beginning. As a branding agency or marketing agency, you have to pick that is your audience. Are you in the business of educating other people, or are you in the business of doing it for other people and charging it? Right? Because then if you kind of realize, and I had to make that decision, I need the second. I'm in the business of number two. So I don't mind if I educate and people take my tips and hacks and stuff for free and do it themselves. That's fine. Those are not my audience anyways. My audience is people who are like, hey, I want help with social media or Facebook ads or branding, but I don't have time to do it. That's my audience, right? So that's what I would say, start educating people, start creating content as a branding agency, because teaching is the new marketing.
Got it. So it's all about a content game, produce a lot of content, teach, educate. So like if someone is seeing that, oh, you have a great solution, I want this solution, can you help for me? So that's the way.
Yeah. One other thing I will add to, because it's very relevant to B2B and especially marketing agency, one tactic that's working super well is actually create like a video show or a podcast show, which kind of like what you did, but invite people who are likely to do business with you. So one mistake people make is they create a podcast or create a video show, but they invite people who are similar to them. Okay. So people who are similar to them, they're either your peers or your like competition, they're not likely to do business with you. So you have to carefully kind of select the topic of your podcast and actually select the guests as in people who are likely to do business with you. So there's a difference. Some people do it and it works really, really well, because you can use podcasting and videos as a tool to create content, but also as a tool to build a relationship with people.
Crazy. Never heard such strategy before. God, I don't know what is running in my mind now. So okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question on this itself. If a person who have started their own, like they started with their freelancing, helping business owners, helping them in digital presence, their ads, their content marketing. So the next thing is like, how can they charge? What are the costing? How they can do?
Yeah. So it really kind of like, depends on I don't like charging by the hour, right? So that's not really, but in my kind of like point of view is if you're just starting out, like my approach was, I had like no idea. I didn't know how I should price, how much should I ask. So what I did, my first 3 clients, I was like, okay, whatever you pay me, that's fine. Because I was trying to like validate the idea, trying to learn, trying to experiment, right? But then once I got some clients in, then I started like raising my pricing, right? So I learned like a lot of things over time. Based on like my learnings, based on like what I've seen, one, don't charge per the hour. Number 2, also charge based on the value to that business. So instead of saying, hey, I'm going to charge, $500 for, let's say, Facebook ads management, look at that business and see what's the value of that service to that business, and then try to do pricing based on that. And the other thing is you can ask other people. You have to kind of like, because some people charge like $500 for Facebook ads management. Some other people charge $1,000. Some other people charge like, $2,000. Some people charge like $200. It's like all over the place, right? So instead of competing with other people, just like compete with yourself, right? So look at, hey, I'm charging, when I charge $500 per month to this client, is it really like worth my time? The first 3 clients, my advice to you is don't even think whatever they're paying you, accept that, take that as like a learning opportunity, because you need like some sort of like data. But because if you don't have any money coming in, you just have theory, right? You don't have actual like data. And also you don't really know what's the value that you bring. Because sometimes, it's interesting. Sometimes I used to kind of like charge people, hey, I'll charge you like X number of dollars for like a 1-hour call with me, right? But then I realized sometimes on like one call with a business, I'm able to tell them pinpoint certain things in their Facebook ads manager, a mistake they're making, that mistake can save them like thousands of dollars. So the value of that call to them can be huge. So when I realized that, then I was like, okay, then, I kind of like undersold myself. I only charged them like a $100, $200 for a call, but the benefit they got was huge, right? So that's the kind of like number one tip is don't charge per the hour. Or actually before that, number one tip is in the beginning, don't be picky. So accept people, first 2 or 3 clients, because you're trying to get the data, trying to get the feedback. And number 2 is as soon as you realize, hey, this is what I'm good at, this is the value I'm providing, then stop charging per the hour and try to charge based on the value that you provide to the business. And the other thing is don't get, because there are going to be people all over the map, all over the place. And when you try to compete with other people, you're only going to lose. So only like compete with yourself. So if you're charging X, just ask yourself, is it really like worth a lot of times I had clients and I got them on a low, pricing, but after a year, it wasn't worth for me, right? So I had to go back to them and say, hey, this pricing doesn't work for me anymore. We can either double it, or if that double price doesn't work for you, I understand. Let's kind of like stop working, right? So do increase your pricing over time, but only like, compete with yourself. And the question you want to ask yourself is it really like worth my time? Is it really like worth for me, like doing this thing, continue doing this thing?
Great. Lovely insight, Ali. Lovely insight. So it's all about just initially, whomever you are getting, just grab them, just go with the
Yeah.
flow, learn the process, and then just go with the pricing and all this stuff. Lovely.
Yeah, because I mean that's a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's fine. They'll say, hey, pick your niche or dictate your pricing in the beginning. But in my opinion, like if you're, a lot of times you don't know, if you're starting from zero, you don't know what you're good at. There's a lot of things you need to learn. You may have read the blogs and watched the videos and courses and stuff, but everything you have is in just theory, right? So if you're not actually hands-on doing it, then you don't realize what you're good at, what's your zone of genius, right? What's the most value you provide. So you only learn that by actually like doing it hands-on. So that's why I'd say don't be picky in the beginning, but then slowly when you realize what the value, start increasing it. That's the second mistake. You don't want to get stuck at the low price zone. You want to slowly increase your value, increase your pricing.
Got it. So Ali, I have the last question, maybe the last second question, but this question is kind of my favorite, kind of interesting, about Quora. How do you see Quora as a platform? Quora marketing, Quora content?
Yeah, so Quora is it's not on my list as a primary platform, but I love Quora. Quora is where I started creating content. So when I started my marketing agency, the first 2-3 years, I was so focused on, let's get the client, let's do things for them, and let's make money. Let's get more clients, more work, more money, more clients. So I was kind of in that cycle. So get clients, do job for them, manage campaigns and make money, right? But I wasn't focused on building my own sort of brand. I wasn't creating content. I didn't know like, hey, should I do videos? And that's probably a lot of questions people have. Should I do videos or podcasts? Should I be on Instagram stories or TikTok or LinkedIn? I didn't really know like what's like my zone until I discovered Quora. So I really loved Quora. I think in like 6 or 7 months, I hit like 1 million views on Quora.
Ooh.
The reason I love Quora is because on Quora, people are asking you questions. And sometimes that's the exact question your target audience has in their mind. So Quora is like even though I'm not creating content on that platform right now, my priority is other platforms. But I love whenever people ask me, hey, we don't know what type of content we should create. We don't know what type of blogs. We don't know what type of videos we should create. I tell them to go to Quora and that's hit search based on their keywords, right? And then they will see the exact question their target audience is, seeing. So I love Quora as a platform to get ideas for your content. And if you are good at writing, then absolutely use Quora to create content. And then you can repurpose that content. The first thing I did was I realized it's really easy for me to answer questions, right? And Quora is a place to where people have a lot of questions. So I started answering a lot of questions, right? And when I have those answers, then I would take those answers and put those on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook, and then I was repurposing my content on those platforms, right? I used Quora as a content ideas to create my sort of muscle of creating content, and also like a lot of I do have a lot of like online courses. A lot of those ideas for the courses or the questions came from Quora. So I love Quora as a platform to get ideas for your content. If you're stuck in the in the content creator like block, you're not sure what type of content you should create, spend 30 minutes on Quora and you have a ton of ideas.
Nice, man. So crazy. Like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the truth. Because I recently discovered Quora in this quarantine, my quarantine discovery. So it's Quora. I started writing the stuff on the same article I'm posting on my website blog. The same I'm putting on the LinkedIn. And what is the thing?
Yeah.
The same question, based on the question, I'm creating a detailed YouTube video and that posting on the YouTube. So
You got it.
yeah, it's a crazy.
And I did that. There's a business reason I had to kind of decide and moved away from Quora. But for like 6 months, if I had not discovered Quora, I would not be creating content online. So Quora helped me become a content creator.
Nice.
So that's how big of a role like Quora played. But now, obviously, like I said, what I like to do is there's so many platforms, right? But at one time, I try to prioritize. I try to pick 1 or 2 or sometimes like 3 and focus on those. Like right now, I'm focused on YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn as like top 3, and then everything else is Facebook and Instagram are like secondary, right? But 6 months from now, I may my those numbers or those lists might change. Last year, Quora was on my list, top on my list. So based on the things, my goals, my business goals, my personal goals, I'm always like testing different things. But man, Quora is huge. The way you're using it, that's exactly what I tell people. Create content, use that content on other places, and you can generate like a lot of like leads from. And good thing about Quora is Quora's answers. If your answers are doing well, Quora syndicates its content to Forbes, to Inc. magazine. Yeah. Other like big magazines, so you can get featured on those magazines based on your Quora content.
And like recently, I have seen if you are searching on Google is pushing the Quora answers on the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another. There's a hack that I don't remember the exact steps now, but let's say if you want to be, on Google first page or first like 3 or 4 results based on a certain keyword, but your domain authority is not that high. Instead of putting that content on your website, you go answer that on Quora question. So there's some research that you do. You already identify a Quora question that's ranking high based on that keyword, and then you can use tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush. But then you can create a quality answer, and then you can be on the Google top results indirectly.
Yeah.
There's a kind of like SEO play that you can do.
Yeah, that takes a really good thing about SEO and the keywords game. And because I'm not open up with the blogs, I hate writing the stuff, but Quora is kind of helping me in these things. So yeah, the last.
That's exactly what I was, because I'm not a natural like writer, right? So I always like content. It's easier for me to kind of like talk on a video or make my video of myself like on TikTok. But I'm not like a natural. Writing is not like my default state, right? But Quora helps me because when people have direct question, because sometimes you're like, oh, I know the answer, and here's how you kind of like solve that problem.
Lovely. So yeah, Ali, here goes the last and very important question. Many people message me, and 100% they message you also about YouTube. My YouTube views are not coming. I want to grow on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Subscribers are not incoming. I can't monetize and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, the simple answer is then most likely you're not creating content that people want. Yeah. Right. So the long answer is most of the time, if the views are not coming on, let's say the YouTube, or YouTube is not growing, and even like same on like LinkedIn, like TikTok, 9 out of 10 times it's because we're creating content that people do not want to consume. It's just simple. So you have to, because right now you have to approach YouTube is much saturated platform, right? So TikTok, if you're consistent on TikTok, a lot of time my videos that are not good, they still get more views. because it's a new platform. There's a lot of like supply of eyeballs, or the organic reach is high, right?
Yeah.
And the competition is less. On YouTube, that's not the case. The competition is very high, right? So the way kind of like my approach on YouTube is, if you want to track before you create your content, spend a lot of time on the research phase. So try to identify what's the keywords and the things that people are like searching for on YouTube. And the tool I use is the TubeBuddy and the vidIQ, right? So those are the two, kind of based on those, I try to pick like keywords. And then when you create content, right? So you want to create content, which is, because if I want to create content about, let's say, Facebook ads, right? There's like 10 million other videos about Facebook ads, right? So the chances of people finding me based on that are very, very slim. So you have to kind of like find an angle which is either different or unique, or like you stand out in a way. So step number one is you do a lot of research, and actually, it's interesting because you can still find really, really good keywords. So on average, I've been creating, YouTube, really big on YouTube and creating consistent content, uploading consistent content. And my process is usually research the keywords and make a video based on that. I identified when the Facebook Messenger rooms came, right? And then the Facebook avatars, that feature came. I saw that there was a lot of like traffic on those keywords, but not a lot of videos being made. So I was one of the first one to make a video on those topics. And normally I get in a day, like if I launch a YouTube video, I get 50 views, 100 views. On those two, I got like 15,000 views, like 20,000 views. If you go to my channel and kind of like look at and this happened like in the last like 30 days. So this is why it's, before you create YouTube content, do a lot of research. So use tools like TubeBuddy, use tools like vidIQ, and try to identify the keyword that your audience is putting in. And then try to, obviously create content that stands out from your competition, right? So that's the other thing about YouTube right now is you have to remember, YouTube wants people to, with every other platform too, they want people to stay on the platform. So the watch time is very important. Yeah. So having said that, that means if people are in general, if you're creating short videos, YouTube doesn't like that. So YouTube wants like longer videos. So another thing you can do is when you go search anything on YouTube and you're watching a video, look at the suggested videos on the right hand side, and most of those videos will be like really long. So 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 1 hour. So that tells you that they're pushing the longer form videos, because the longer form videos can potentially increase the watch time. So that's the other thing you want to remember about YouTube. One, research, with the problem that your audience is looking at an answer for. And then number two is, when you create content, try to, especially in the beginning, not create like a very, very short, because I've seen a lot of people make like a, second or like 30-second video, a 1 minute video, 2 minute videos. It's okay to mix those in, but do realize that YouTube wants us to create long form content. It's not like TikTok. It's not like Instagram stories. It's a much different platform. And the other thing you want to remember is YouTube is a search engine. People don't go to, if I want to learn how to start my podcast using Anchor app, I'm not going to go to TikTok. I'm not going to go to YouTube. Instagram. I am most likely going to go to Google or YouTube. So you have to kind of like remember that people are going to YouTube with a specific problem. They are putting that in the search bar, and then they're finding content.
Correct.
So those are the two kind of like, the things that kind of like come in mind. And so I call that like, foundation, right? So starting with the keyword and creating content that's like platform friendly, long form, and then also optimizing the content. So make sure whatever keyword you pick, put that in the title, in the description, in the tag. So follow those like foundational practice. Now, the hack that's working right now on YouTube for me, so YouTube, it's saturated platform. There's not a lot of organic reach, right? What's a platform that has a lot of organic reach? TikTok. So find a way to drive traffic from TikTok to your YouTube.
Okay. Got it.
Right. So that's like kind of, for people who are not getting a lot of traction or views on YouTube, then the question you want to ask yourself is, where are you able to get more organic reach? Where do you have more traction than YouTube? and then drive traffic from. And for some people, they have access to like Facebook groups. Then you could drive some early traffic from Facebook groups to YouTube. For people like me, I have more traction on TikTok. Then I'm able to drive some traffic from TikTok to my YouTube. So that's how you can kind of like, the hack that you can use to kind of like, get some early views.
Nice. So much. I had few personal questions which you have answered, so I need not ask those personally. So that's a great thing. So as you told regarding the from TikTok, you can gather the crowd and push towards. So which I have created a personal video on this on my YouTube channel also, saying that as a pull and push strategy. So yeah, that was crazy insights, and I guess I will end this podcast here, guys. As assured, like this podcast, each and every minute, I 100% assure that I can give the guarantee that it was so worth listening and watching. I've learned so many things, which is rare, which is very rare, and that too specific in this one short video. So, guys, if you like, please go and check out all the Ali Mirza social handles are given below. You see how much content, the value he's producing on the social media platforms. You go anywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere he's there, just go and follow him. And guys, thank you so much for staying till here. And thank you so very much, Ali Mirza, for taking out time and putting out so much value. Thank you so very much. So guys, that's it from my side. See you in the another one. Until then, take care, keep smiling. And bye bye from my side, and bye bye from Ali Mirza.
Thanks for having me, man.
Same here. Thank you so much.